No. How's it going, lads? We're back again with installment number 3 of the KV-2 build, and we're on now to the tracks. Okay, I'm supposed to do the tracks in the last video, but I had no glue and can't get any of this stuff, so I got to go with the Tamiya slow setting white cap Tamiya. We all know it, the white cap Tamiya glue or cement, whatever you want to call it, Tamiya cement. The white cap is the slower setting of the 3. So we're going to have to give that a try. Never done it with I've never used that for tracks, but everything is an experiment, isn't it? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Simple. So let's hope, fingers crossed, that it does work. So let's go onto the bench. We'll have a look at the tracks, because a little bit of discussion needed with the tracks. Okay, so let's go onto the bench. We'll have a look, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so here we are. We're onto the tracks. There's how you sort of lay them out, or how it tells you, and it says make these. There's 6 pieces, and you curve them around the idler and the drive sprocket. Okay, to get the shape. Then you fit them like that. I don't like doing it that way. For some weird reason, I just don't do it that way. I lay it out straight. I'll show you as I'm doing it, okay? But first of all, the tracks, right? We've got 2 sprues of tracks, okay? We've taken all the other little bits and pieces. They've all been used. Okay, so we've got our tracks. Now they look nice. I mean, they're quite nicely detailed. Until you turn them over, and you can see that they are absolutely full of little ejector marks. They're absolutely full of them. There's a bloody load of them there, right? So we've got the short and a long piece, and we've got all our individuals, right? And we've got 2 block pieces with 4 on them, okay? The short piece is going to be on the bottom, so these are the ones that are actually really going to be seen. Now they're not actually that bad, the ejector pin marks. They will sand off, but they're not going to leave any detail once we do that. I'm not really worried too much about the old detail, but I am worried about the old ejector pin marks, right? Now if you can see them there, they're pretty ugly, aren't they? They are pretty ugly. Okay, so we're going to have to remove them first. Okay, with the section that goes at the top, because it's going to be on top and it's going to be, you know, in there covered, you're not going to see it, and you're not going to lift it open. It's just when you see it kind of down into it. The only ones really to clean off are these ones and the short one. I'm not going to go to the bother of cleaning off all of them for a thing that you're only going to see if you pick up the model and look underneath it, and I don't allow people to play with the stuff, so I'm not going to look at it myself. So I'm just going to clean up all these here on the bottom section. So I'm just going to cut off all these, and then we'll start cleaning them up. Okay, so bear with me. I'll get these all cut off and we can start with the cleaning process. Right, so here we are. Here's our tracks. Like I said, I'm not going to bother cleaning off the long ones. Just makes it a little bit shorter, doesn't it? So all I got to do is clean off the bottom ones. So now hopefully this will all come off with a rub of a reasonably rough sanding stick, whatever you use. I use these fancy pretty ones from the I get from the local chemist or drugstore if you're in America, but we call them chemists this side of the water. Okay, and quick rub. We'll have a look at that. And by Jove, I think it's done it. Okay, bar 1 or 2 more, just a little bit more needed down here on the edge where I didn't quite actually get. You can even see by the fact that there's no kind of dust there. I didn't get there. So now, yeah, I'm happy enough with that. Okay, I am happy enough with those. Just the end one there and the end one there. It's just where I didn't put a bit of pressure on, and that is it. See, that's gone. And the end one at this side. Okay, so they just need a bit of cleaning up, a bit of sanding off, and the rough look, you know, they're grand enough. Okay, so I'll go over them now and give them a cleaning off, a further little clean off then, making sure that there's no dust left between these kind of things, because we don't want to get that glued in there. We don't want them all filling up too early, even though we're probably going to fill it up with a bit of mud and shite anyway. Just clean them off anyway, so they'll be cleaned up easy enough, and they won't take that long. So I'm just going to get all these cleaned up, and then we'll get back to you. Okay, so bear with me while I clean them up. Okay, so here we are, we've got our track all put together. Now remember I did say that I wasn't going to clean off the long ones. I did. Kind of stupid of me not to say something like that. I'm not going to bother cleaning off the long ones, especially since it was so easy to clean off. So I did, I cleaned them all off, and now we're ready to glue them together. Okay, now I said I normally use the Revel Contactor Professional glue, which is this one here. Absolutely brilliant for doing the tracks. Nice slow setting glue, and it's nice and thin, as opposed to this, the Tamiya White Cap, which is, it's pretty thick and gloopy. So I'm hoping this will work. I really am hoping this will work. I'm kind of putting a lot of my faith into it, but we'll see. We'll give it a go anyway. Okay, so it's a case of carefully go along here and find out where the joins are. Now I know that I've got the long one here. I have 6 little ones. Okay, I have the block of 4. I have a single one. I have the shorter length. Then I've got 7. Okay, which is a 6 and 1. Okay, of the little ones. Okay, so we'll start off. We'll get a gloop going. So we've got our long one, and our first join is here. Okay, so we'll just get some glue in there. We'll seep down through it. Hopefully now, I really am hoping that this works, because if not, I don't have an alternative, unfortunately. I don't have spare Russian tracks, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. Okay, I do not see why it wouldn't work, and it's a case of, I'm sure somebody else in the past has used the Tamiya White Cap. I know I haven't used it. Right, there's, I think there's our 2 or 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there we go. So if you just bear with me now. Now you don't need to see me doing all these. I'll get back to you as soon as I've them all done, and I've waited the 2 or 3 a couple of minutes for it to kind of set a little bit. We don't want it setting fully, but we do want it set a little bit. Okay, so I'll get back to you in a sec. Right, there we are. Oh, I've given it a few minutes. It still looks a bit wet, but we'll have to give it a go. We'll give it a go. So, fingers crossed, hope this works. Somebody did just say to me there, I just noticed it after popping up while I was doing this, that the ordinary Tamiya Extra Tin does work for these. So some reason that looks very short, doesn't it? It really does. That looks rather short for me. After using the right number of thingies, I have to bring this up here, bring that back just a little bit. See, all's happened to me, at least the whole thing hasn't fallen apart just yet. Just yet, says he. I want that to sit in around these bloody well. And like everything else, anytime you got to do something on camera, it never bloody well works, does it? And this is the center disintegrating around there. That's it, put 6 of these. That is 6 of them around that. Glue's a little bit too soft. Got a bit of fiddling and fettling to get done to get this to fit around. Yeah, and that is still pretty damn short, I must admit. It looks like it could do with another 2 links at least, but I think we can add them in at a later stage, as long as we get these ones reasonably on. Yep, the whole thing is gone. Jits up, as they say. Jits up. Right, we have to stick on another one. Try another. The great thing about using the slow setting glue is if things like this happen, just basically everything just starts falling apart on you. Because it's a slow setting glue, it hasn't sort of totally gone off yet. Okay, so we appear to be definitely stuck onto this piece anyway. Okay, so I might have to do what I don't really want to do, which is glue the whole thing down at this stage. Although until the top goes on, it will still be easy enough to paint. Okay, yeah, we could do it another bloody one. Okay, so we're having to add one to the back of that. It's pretty hard working around the camera, I must admit. It's very hard to kind of really see what I'm doing. But we'll get there, we'll get there. if I can get this to go on, I can use a bit of ordinary to me to get it on. It's just, main thing is not to lose your cool. Don't lose your cool. Easier said than bloody well done, isn't it? Easier said than done. There's the one bugger about using tracks that don't really want to fit together too easily. Okay, so if you look at these, how they clip together, they go together. There we go. But they don't always want to stay together. I'll use a bit of the ordinary. Get in there. Alright, we put a bit of ordinary on here. And a bit of the old ordinary on there. So we have our two. So we get the rest of these now. Make sure that they're right. We're on there. We're around there. Are we through in these? We want to get this to fit into the there we go, get the grooves, the spines on the drive sprocket to go onto the track and sort of sitting around it rather than just look as if they're kind of placed on it. Okay, now there's those two that we had, and I don't think we will need them. Once it was literally a case of just now with a little bit of final fiddling, we use a bit of the ordinary Tamiya back in here again. Now, there we go. Oh, we've gaps everywhere. Typical. Bloody typical. There was I saying, oh look, it goes together lovely. It friggin' doesn't. And it says, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. Yeah, you just stay off for a minute or two until we get all these bottom ones done. Excuse the screaming in the background. House full of teenagers playing video games, and you know what they do. They scream at the bloody screen as if it was the screen's fault. Yeah. No, we're going to have to glue on that roller. I didn't really want to because I wanted to paint the tracks as a separate thing, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to do it that way. So, quick revert back to plan B. Right, now plan B uses a lot of bloody glue, and the dangerous there is getting the glue on your fingers. And what you end up with fingerprints in the plastic, which I don't want, which I do not want. Okay, I separated that again there. Okay. Now, there's the bottom section of that track. So now, since we're going to have to glue them on, just to stop any excess movement in them. We're going to have to get glue into our dry sprocket and thing, and along the top of those return rollers. Right, now like I said, the main thing is not to panic. Don't panic, right? That doesn't need 2, but it does need 1. And if you put it in the right way, John, it might just fit. So there. Okay. Just a little bit of keeping an eye on it now while that sets. But there we go, our track is on. Okay. Now, I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to be able to kind of take it off again. But unfortunately, with the way that the and I'm not even blaming the glue, I'm not even blaming the kit, I'm blaming me. I approached this slightly wrong. Not even slightly wrong, I just approached it very wrong. I should have gone by the instructions and done it that way. What way that works for Indie-Link tracks don't seem to want to work for the Lincoln length. Now I gotta use my tweezers here in this little curvy piece here now, because there's a joining problem here with this one. It just looks kinked, and if you let it sit like that, it will stay kinked. I want it to look natural and not unnatural. So there we go, I'm happy enough with that. Now I'll just leave that set. See, that's what I said, you have to keep a bloody well eye on it. Make sure that it stays joined at all times. No, we'll just leave that set up. Okay, so that's how we did the tracks. It's one way of doing them. You could follow the instructions and doing that way. There's loads of different ways of doing Lincoln length tracks. That way that I had originally envisaged didn't actually work, but we had to kind of muck our way through for a finish, and it's on anyway. That's the main thing, it's on. It's just going to be a little bit harder to paint than I had originally planned, but sure, hey, it works, isn't it? That's the main thing. So I get on and I'll get the other side done, and we'll have a look at it then. And hopefully everything will be hunky-dory. Okay, I'll catch you in the next little bit, and we'll go on and I'll get stuck in, I'll do the other track. Okay. Right, so we've got them on anyway. Okay, the tracks are on. Happy enough with them. I'm not ecstatic with them or anything like that. I'm not over the moon with them. It could have had, you know, I've seen Lincoln length tracks that had a little bit of a dip and all that in them. Do you know what I mean? They could have put in a little bit of a dip in there. So we've got no, you know, there's no sag or anything in there. Then again, it's an early model, so what you expect. Like I said, I didn't really want to have them glued in place, so I could kind of paint them separately and all that. It makes it easier for painting, but didn't get there, did we? No. They're in place anyway. Okay, so the next step for these is to get this painted. I'll be painting this section separately, otherwise I won't be able to get to the top of the tracks, and you know yourself, if you put on the top, okay, it's got the skirts over it and things like that, you won't really be able to get in there to paint it properly, okay? And if you put it on and then try and get in there afterwards to paint it, from certain angles you'll look and you'll see that it's not painted in there. So I'm going to have to sort of paint it separately, won't I? Paint it as it is, paint this piece, and then move on. So I'm going to kind of put that aside, let it all harden up even bit more than it is. Happy enough to a certain degree with you know, my work on them. They're grand. They'll do the job. So next step for me. Okay, we've got the all this bit done. We've got all that section done. I'm going to do a little bit of damage here on the upper hull, on the fenders and things. Just a little bit of battle damage, because sure, why not? Why not? As good a reason as any. Okay, so the next step for in the construction thing, we're into the turret. Okay, now doing a little bit of research into the turret, I found that you know, the detail that they give you, you know, you've got the breech and all that kind of stuff, and you've got a couple of little things on the inside. You've got your machine guns, you've got all this hatch detail on the inside, you've got the periscopes detail and things like that. And then I said to myself, well, yeah, but they don't give you enough detail on the inside for you to be able to, you know, have the doors openable and closable. And then I just started looking on the internet and things like that, and I found some pictures of the inside of the turret of one of these things. There's nothing in there. There is nothing in there. There's no sort of seating or racks for shells or anything like that. It's just a big empty friggin' space. And the reason for such a big empty space is because of the recoil on the howitzer. It's a 152mm howitzer on the inside of these yokes, built for knocking out bunkers, like I said earlier on. And the only detail is really what they give you here. So I'm going to try and have the doors openable and closable. Okay, so there's our turret and the manufacturer of our turret. So therefore, when I get all these little panels made, I'm going to have to paint them separately as well, aren't I? So that's it for this video, lads. I've got the tracks done. So like I said, the next step now is to get onto the turret. So the next building step will be the turret. And when I get the turret built and, you know, all the little sections done ready for painting, we'll get them painted then. Okay, so thank you for taking your time out to watch me blabble on about this kit. Couple of handy tips, I suppose, if you're thinking of buying it. It's not a bad kit. It is not bad kit at all. You know, the detail is a little bit sparse, a little bit soft, but it's there. It's there. You know. And why not? Why not? It's a cheap enough kit. Go out and buy it. Okay, so that's it for this video. Like I said, don't forget to stay tuned for further updates. We'll be doing the turret and the painting and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for subscribing if you've already subscribed, and if you haven't subscribed, just about there, there's my little symbol. You can click on that and you can subscribe straight away through that. A big thank you to all the people that have subscribed and taken their time out to watch my videos. I do appreciate it. I really, really do. So until the next time, and don't forget to watch the bum. It'll be up later. All I can say is, in the meantime, go out and buy yourself a kit, build it, and enjoy it. This is John signing off and saying enjoy your modelling and have a nice week.